Welcome back to another episode of No Waco. This is your host, Debbie. Welcome back to another episode of No Waco. I'm your host, Debbie, and today we have a very special guest here in the studio yet again. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I am Alex Sanchez, owner of Be Kind Coffee.
Yes, and you are a veteran on the show.
It's my second time. Happy to be back.
Be Kind, part 2, now on the pod.
Be Kind Coffee, Too Kind, Too Furious.
Ooh, Too Kind, Too Furious. Coining that trademark TM. Well, thank you so much for coming back on the show.
Sure.
So we are here because you have an exciting announcement. You will be doing your grand opening.
Yeah, we just recently opened our third store, technically, but our second location currently.
Wow.
And we are hosting a grand opening event on tomorrow, March 11th. We're going to be open from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. And we're going to be doing a ribbon cutting ceremony with the Central Texas Hispanic Chamber of Commerce at 10 a.m. It's going to be awesome.
Yay, that's so exciting. And so this is your second brick and mortar location.
It's like our first real brick and mortar location, doing dine-in service for here drinks, like the whole shebang. Just kind of being able to welcome people into a physical space. It's our first time being able to do that. Our previous locations have been operating inside of other businesses. And so this is our first time just kind of like being on our own, having a little more autonomy and more freedom to do the things that we've always wanted to do.
And it's gorgeous. So tell me about the murals. Tell me about all the colors.
Yeah, so with Be Kind Coffee, our goal with like the branding has just always been creating like a welcoming, friendly, bright space, something that's a lot different from like other coffee shops or restaurants and stuff that you'll find, not just in Waco, but in general.
Yeah.
Coffee shops are typically very hipster oriented, very moody and dark and jazzy, if you will. And we love those as well. We love going to coffee shops and coffee culture, but we just wanted to kind of stand out, do something a little bit different, create a space for people who value like a change of pace.
I love that.
And so we've been very intentional with having bright colors, white ceilings, things like just to create it like much more bright and open feeling. We have a lot of art around that is predominantly done by the other owner, Will Suarez.
Shout out, Will. High Def Willie. Shout out.
He's a local artist here, born and raised in Waco. A lot of people around here know him. Some of the other art in our hallway is done by local artist Mick Burson.
Yes.
Who is a fantastic
The little
person.
geometric horses. Is that what they are supposed to be?
Yeah,
Okay.
Some horses on our hallway wall. And it's just people love looking at it. And it's also in the Be Kind colors. And so it's just kind of just meshes well. And it's a lot better than a plain hallway.
And then, of course, the iconic smiley face.
Yes. We've got just one big smiley face right there in the corner. We try not to make it too forward. But it's a fun, just kind of like friendly picture logo that people can relate to.
Yeah, I love that. So I know we've already talked about it in the past episode, but kind of talk about your origin story of how you guys got started.
Yeah, so me and Will started Be Kind Coffee back in 2021 out of the side of the Waco Custom Marketplace. It's a meat market over on Lake Air Drive. We operate a drive-through over there. It really just started out of a passion for coffee culture, wanting to kind of set our own path in that space because we're both passionate about that stuff. But both of our backgrounds are also in creative things, marketing. Will's an artist. We're both photographers. And so we both wanted to create a brand from scratch, doing something, just kind of like create our own thing, a startup company, if you will. And we just wanted to try creating a coffee company, but something that's different. Something that meant something, not just another coffee shop, essentially. Something that could become something bigger, because our long-term goal is we would love to expand this past Waco.
Oh, yay.
And that's something that we're trying to be intentional about and focusing on every single day as we build to get better. It's like, okay, what could this look like in the future?
Yeah. And again, having 3 locations, you've kind of been able to adjust and adapt. So what has that process been like?
Yeah. So every time we do one, it gets a little bit better. We try to learn from our mistakes. We work on the placement of things and the processes of like getting started and stuff. And every time it seems, we're able to do it in a shorter time frame as well. So this being the third location that we have opened here in Waco, I wouldn't say it necessarily went a lot smoother, but we learned a lot from our past mistakes, and we're able to kind of like, okay, let's not do this time. Let's focus on being ready for this situation and things like that, and just kind of like the layout of everything, but also like the service spot, the service aspect. We are a lot better at what we do than we were 2 years ago. We're confident in the product quality that we throw out there.
I love
it. Confident we're confident in the messaging that we portray, whether on social media or just with all of our team members, like in person serving people. We're really doubling down on the service aspect and just trying to make people feel better every time they come through is kind of our goal.
Yeah, I love that. And again, as a business owner, you kind of have to learn to adapt and grow with that.
For sure.
So that's fantastic. So with your third location, you guys have already been open for a little bit. So when did you guys do your soft open, or you guys have already been open?
Our soft opening was February 8th, I believe. We very much super soft opened. You know, we got the go ahead from the
I've already been there like 3 times. So
we got the go ahead from the health department. He's like, yeah, you guys are good to go. And we're like, all right, cool. We won't tell anybody tomorrow, but we'll just kind of like open and kind of like slowly figure out like what we need to change. Because there's always things you don't think about. And then of course we opened, kind of didn't really tell anyone, but people just kind of started showing up, which is awesome.
That's what I do.
And then on Friday, we officially soft opened, and it was crazy.
Really?
Just, packed in. I think people were just like ready for it.
Yeah.
Because we tried to build a hype a little bit like in the week before, and then that Saturday was just our busiest day ever.
Wow.
As a company. And then the following Saturday, we broke the record again.
Wow.
Which was fantastic. You know, the community support has just been overwhelming.
I love that.
I'm not originally from Waco, but I've been here for around like 7 years or so now.
Yeah.
And so it's just been really awesome, like seeing how Waco just supports people, especially like local people and people who are like trying to make the city a better place. Yeah. And so it's been really cool to see, like, our place is not gigantic, but we were like, oh yeah, 35 seats, like that's way more than 0. So we'll try to get at least like 5 or 10 people in there. And so it was fantastic seeing like they all filled up. They've been filling up every day. On Saturdays, it's been standing room only, which is a great problem to have. But we don't ever want to be able to, like, we don't want to have to turn away people, because that sucks when you walk in, every seat's taken, there's a line out the door. I understand. I would do the same thing.
Go to the drive-thru at the other location.
Yeah, you see that, and it's just like, oh, maybe I'll come back later. And so we're working on that right now. We're hoping to get the spot next door to expand it a little bit and just kind of like triple our seating footprint. So that's in the works, which is a great problem to have.
Good, yes.
Fantastic. So that's something that in the coming months we're working on. But it's just been really awesome to see like the community support, whether it's from other business owners, just like people that we've made friends with along the way that are just like coming through and supporting. And then people who also have never come through Be Kind before now are coming through because we have a sit-down location closer to downtown. It's our own space. A lot more students are coming by now. We used to not have too many like student customers just because we're on the other side of town. It's harder to get
outside the Baylor bubble.
Yeah, outside of the Baylor bubble. You've got to drive over there. It's not a study place. Now we have a place where you can study. We will give you the Wi-Fi password if you ask. We just want to have a space where we can welcome people in, no matter who they are, and just kind of like let them hang out with us for a little bit and be a part of their lives.
I love that. And of course, with the grand opening, what all are you going to be doing? So
some of it's still up in the air, but we're going to do a lot of crazy things.
Ooh, I love crazy.
We're going to do a lot of like different discounts, giveaways. We're going to try to have like some different vendors and stuff there, just kind of post it up and like have some more different things to offer people. We're going to do the grand opening ribbon cutting ceremony. That's going to be fun. But we'll probably give away like a stupid amount of things.
Yes.
That day, just kind of like throughout the day, like do some things for like the people that do come by and support.
Well, I love that. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. We're just going to take a commercial break real fast and we'll be right back. And now for a word from our sponsors.
Welcome to One Star Rewind, a new podcast about those dreaded one-star reviews that every business owner hates to receive, but yet every customer loves to read. During this podcast, We will peel back that 1-star review to better understand how it happened, when it happened, and what the business owner is doing after receiving that 1-star review. This podcast will be about love, hate, and laughter. On 1-Star Rewind, we will meet with real business owners who will tell their stories and how they do rely on reviews for their business. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or download us at roguemedianetwork.com. Please subscribe, but only rate and review for not a 1-star review. Join us each time for a new review and a new story.
Pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about.
Hey, I'm Zach.
And I'm Mike.
And we have a fantastic new podcast to tell you about. Bros, Foes, and Heroes. It's the two of us looking into the world of comics, breaking down some characters that you may have never heard of, and some that are just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, so Zach comes up with a character each time, and I go into it just completely blind. I don't know who this person is or what their abilities are or anything, and basically I guess we kind of go over their origin story and just some of the ridiculous stuff that maybe, especially Golden Age stuff.
Oh, Golden Age stuff is always the best, and we will make sure to highlight all of the shenanigans and just absolute weirdness of everything.
Yeah, that's right. So subscribe today and follow us on Instagram at Bros, Foes, Heroes.
And if you don't, I know where you live. Not really, but please subscribe.
Pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about.
Hi, this is Sarah,
And I'm Carter.
and this is Some of Our Thoughts.
We're two Southern sommeliers, and we want to share everything we love and know about wine. We started hanging out during quarantine and cooking and drinking and listening to music, and we just thought this would be a great way to bring everything we know to you guys.
We will make wine knowledge and food pairings easy and approachable. So put on your favorite vinyl, grab your favorite glass of wine, tune into our show, and let's have some fun.
Wine and vinyl. So check us out on roguemedianetwork.com or wherever you get your favorite podcast. We'll be talking about a lot.
And now, back to the episode. And we're back. So we're just talking about your grand opening happening tomorrow. But I want to talk more about downtown development and what it's like being a young entrepreneur. So what is something you would like to see in Waco or downtown Waco specifically?
Ooh, that's a great question. I feel like something that I hear from a lot of people, especially like college students and people like the younger, like young professional crowd and stuff, is like, they always feel like there's not much to do in Waco. And I think it's more so like how you look at it.
And that's why this podcast exists.
Because, you know, people just kind of like, they take it at face value. Maybe they're from a bigger city where, you know, I get it. There's a lot more to do. Mm-hmm. But you just have to go out there and search, you know, check out that local restaurant, go to that bar that maybe you're scared to go to sometimes, check out the different coffee shops. And like, there are things to do if you want to find them.
Yeah.
It's maybe not going to be quite as easy as a city full of millions of people, but that's kind of what Waco is growing towards. It is growing, but if you don't go and support the local businesses out there, it won't continue to grow.
Yeah. And again, a lot of people just don't know what's going on, which is why we're here
For
to
sure.
help tell them about all the fun stuff.
Yeah. And so something that I always wanted to see was just like, you know, places to go and like do something that's not like you feel like you have to be there at 2 a.m. to like get something fun out of it. So that's why like places like axe throwing are so cool to me.
Right
It's
next
just,
door to you
right
guys.
next door to us. Just because it is like a fun activity to take. You know, anyone 13 and up can go. You know, it could be a family activity.
I have
or with
seen
your friends.
babies there before. Don't
You know,
worry.
And it's pretty cool getting to throw some throwing knives.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
That's your new hobby.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's so great. And again, I'm so glad you're bringing this to our community. It also sounds like you've already been integrated in our community. You've been around for 3 years, am I right?
I've been around Waco since 2015.
Okay, awesome. And
Right
as a
there.
business, 3 years, right?
As a business since 2021.
2021.
So
okay, so not
coming up on 2
exactly. Okay,
years,
coming up on 2 years.
Which, you know, it both feels like forever, but also like nothing at the
It's
same
the
time.
same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Time is an enigma. It doesn't actually exist.
For sure.
But that's fantastic. So it sounds like you've already been, again, integrated into our community and have found an amazing support system. What has it been like being a POC business owner, especially in downtown Waco?
I think it's important for everyone to see what is possible. I think like growing up, a lot of the time, you don't always see someone that looks like you doing things that you hear about other people doing.
Yeah.
You know, whether that's being an astronaut or starting a business, you don't always believe it's possible if you don't see someone that like looks like you or is in the same community as you doing it. That's why I do think it is important we try to focus on integrating our culture where we can. You know, like our best-selling drink on our menu is the churro latte.
My favorite.
You know, and we're not like super like in your face about it or anything, but like we want to try to be like a good example of like what you can do, like because you know we're all equal. We're not all always given the same opportunities, but I think it's important to be that person sometimes.
Yeah.
Just because, especially in Waco, like there is a huge Hispanic community here. And I think it's important to kind of like try to set an example like for the young kids.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I love that. And is there any advice you would like to give somebody who might be wanting to start a business or might be an entrepreneur at heart?
Yeah. I think the best thing you can do is just don't give up. I know that's cliche, but like I really do think like a lot of times people just give up a little too soon. It's not always going to be easy. In fact, it may never be easy. But I think if you just keep on going, you know, reiterating, focusing on what does work, kind of, you know, stop doing the things that don't quite work as much, and just keep on moving. You know, you're going to fail a lot and that's okay. But just not giving up, I think, will lead to a bigger success rate than not at all.
Yeah, that's great. And again, you guys have partnered with the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And again, just giving back to the community through that. Is there anybody that you want to shout out that's maybe helped you along this journey or in the community? Or so you can also shout out your mom, your dog, or your grandma.
I think, like, honestly, the biggest, like, support that you can have when starting a business is, like, having someone to go through it with you.
Yeah.
So not saying that you can't do it alone, but it's a lot easier to not do it alone. And so definitely my business partner, Will Suarez, I do not want to do this alone and I could not do this alone. And so like having someone to go through it with you, like, you know, talk about the issues that are going on, like help you problem solve. And then you also both have different strengths and weaknesses and stuff. And like, you're able to figure things out along the way together. It's a lot less intimidating than like trying to figure it out all on your own. And I think it's okay to ask for help as well, because you're not going to know everything. You're going to make mistakes. But I think, you know, working with someone else allows you to work through those things.
Yeah. And with that, what would you say is your mission for Be Kind Coffee?
Be Kind Coffee's mission is to just try to make an impact on the world, one cup of coffee at a time.
I love that. I love that.
However we can do that, whether that's just improving your mood, having a good conversation, or, you know, whether it's just as simple as just caffeinating you.
I need all those things.
We just want to make an impact wherever we can, just one cup at a time, because that's all it takes.
Yeah. And it's still the beginning of 2023 and you just opened your new location. So what is one of your goals to achieve by the end of the year?
By the end of the year, we're hoping to just kind of like find our foothold here in the community, whether that's, you know, in downtown or in Waco in general, and just kind of focus on really strengthening our business to prepare for the next year.
Yeah.
Because that's something is like, we have no plans of going anywhere. We want to be here for a long time. We want to find our place here in Waco, give back where we can, help make Waco like a better place. because I love Waco. Waco's always been good to me. The people here have been awesome. And I feel like that's a lot harder to find that kind of community in a bigger city.
Yeah. And a lot of people say that. Everybody's like, it's big city feels, but still a small community vibe.
I've run into people I know like just at HEB like, every day, which is awesome and terrifying at the same time.
Just don't be talking too loud about anybody, right? Well, that's fantastic. Of course, give us all your social media, where we can find you, your website, all the above.
Yeah, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram at Be Kind Coffee Crew, and also our website, www.bekindcoffeecrew.com.
Awesome. And then, of course, give us your new address for your new location, where we can find you.
1534 Washington Avenue, right on the outskirts of downtown. It's super accessible off of 35, right off of 17th Street.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming in today. We're definitely looking forward to your grand opening, and again, hopefully many more. You've already been on the episode or on the podcast twice, so part 3 coming soon. No, I'm kidding.
Every time we open a new location,
we'll just keep coming on. But again, it's fantastic having you here. Is there anything else you want to share with our listeners today?
Just go out and do some good today.
Be kind to somebody. Do kindness. Be good. All the things. Yeah. All the above. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Find us everywhere on all social media platforms, KNOW_Waco. Check us out at roguemedianetwork.com, and we're on YouTube under Rogue Media Network. Check out nowaco.com.